What is going on, everyone? Wow, okay. Only my mom's here. Hello, Mom, what's going on? I would have assumed everyone would be lining up for this one. This is the Eink Gallery 3 showcase. On the live showcase, every single week we are here. I am going over to the live section of YouTube just to make sure everything is all copacetic. Yep, there are people here. All right, I would have assumed people would be lining up a day before because we actually prepped the live alert, at least, that this was coming up. This is the Gallery 3, everyone, and if you don't know what that is, don't fret, because we're going to tell you today. Let's get a top-down view, and it says there are 9 people. Yeah, it does say there are 9 people, but when we do a Bigme or an Onyx... oh, hey, Dennis. When we do a Bigme or an Onyx live showcase, there's typically, like, geez, I mean, even the iReader had 40-something people watching and kind of commingling and everything. So let's get into it. What the heck? There we go. So, guys, if you don't know, this is not regular color e-paper in the traditional sense of Kaleido, of Carta, or Pearl, or anything, actually. And let me get a towel. Let me get a taulito, Spanish for towel. There we go. Cisco Terez and Denise is here. Hello. So this is color, but this is color in a different way. Does it look kind of orange in the background? Yes. Does it have a slower processing? Yes. Yes, it does. That's everything that goes into this kind of technology. It is much slower. So what we are just going to go over here is I'm just going to talk and ramble over it a little bit while I wait for you guys to ask some questions, because that's the point of the live showcase. The point is to showcase it in the best way possible. You do have 3 modes to better your experience. You have Extreme, Black and White, and HD. Extreme is going to retain the color. So if I go somewhere like Google Play... Oh, did I sign into Google Play on this one? I did not. Okay, well that's okay, because it has Google Play, just note that. So if I go over to Wish It Were Faster, it is significantly faster, George. If you look at our earlier videos and now, it's not even close. I mean, the other galleys over there, I'm not even going to show it. That's how much quicker it is. So if I go into something, see, all that I just did would have taken like a minute to navigate over to that. So now that you're here, let's look at the colors. It looks okay. Oh, I got to turn the glow light off just so we can get an accurate representation of what it looks like. So I'm going to turn that off, and now it's going to get really slow because I'm going to go, oh, it is in HD mode. Oh, that's actually quite amazing that it was even that fast in HD mode. Okay, that wasn't a ploy. So this is what the colors look like. Let's do a refresh, actually, full refresh. I have set the system refresh to 4. Yes, and I believe someone says that needs to go away every time you refresh. I agree. We'll kind of implement that into the software change. So look at that. That looks almost no different from the naked eye than a magazine. Oh, I went over to Wi-Fi. Whoops. I want to scroll down and go to Eink Center, and I want to remove all of these because a lot of people were always complaining that you have this, that, and the other thing up. So we'll just kind of appease you guys and turn off everything. You see it is all zeroed out. Now let's look at what it looks like. That is incredibly high quality for e-paper, and the thing is that there's no drawback in terms of pixel density. It is 300 ppi in color and 300 ppi in black and white. There is no trade-off. The only trade-off for Gallery is speed. And a lot of people might be saying, you know, Gallery's not ready. I don't believe that. I believe it is an alternative e-paper technology. And what I mean is, a lot of people say, let it be as quick as Kaleido. Well, then no one would be using Kaleido. No company would ever adopt Kaleido, ever, if this was faster. Because the only difference in usability between Kaleido and this, which we've shown many times, I got a ton of videos on it, is the speed. This looks probably, without exaggerating, probably about 5 times better than Kaleido 3. And it looks cleaner, it looks smoother, it's crisp, it's vivid, it's bright. The contrast is on point. Look at that. That looks nuts. And that's ink. That's electronic little ink particles bouncing around. Hey, what's up, Michael? Case is Entra. Case is Entra. Oh, Dennis said something. Is the case included? No, the case is not included. The case is, I believe, separate unless you bought it from a distributor that says it has a case. Does not have a case. Hi, will you show manga page refresh? Yes, I can, except no, I can't show color because let me see if I can get into my Amazon. The color saturation on the display feels like reading a comic book. In the camera now? No, am I using the camera? I'm not on the camera, Mike. I can show you guys the document scanner if you'd like, but no, nothing yet. Oh, okay, I have to sign in, but no worries. I'm going to just go like this so you guys can see the actual unit, what it looks like. So it is approximately this big, and I'm going to sign in with my credentials so you guys don't see my Amazon password, of course. So if you guys have any other questions about this, dial them in now, lock them in now, and I will get to all of those. We are going to show manga. I'm just getting into my Amazon account because that has all my stuff in it. So I'll be able to show that more properly. And I made a mistake in my password. Show password. There we go. All right, so this is going to get itself going and sign in. So what do we got here? I mean the 4K webcam. No, I'm not using that, Michael. I believe the production team is still unboxing and doing a video review of it. But how could it be used for playing video? Password is Peter1234. Wow, you guessed it. Dang. Oh, it needs my one-time passcode on my phone now. There we go. Yes, so can you demo the fastest refresh mode? Yes, we can, which is considered black and white. Let's get back to it. Now, this is going to sync for a little bit, so you said you wanted to see some color content. I believe in our library, we do have some stuff, Spy Family. You know what I think we have is Michael bought Overwatch a while back, and I think that is a full-color graphic novel. So let's see what we got here. Oh, there it is, right there. So let's change this to a faster mode while we... Oh, you know what? Here, I'll show you the fastest refresh mode right now, which is black and white. Black and white refreshes everything. It goes into something that looks like this. And currently, this is as fast as the unit will become. So if that is a concern of yours, then Kaleido is for you. But if it's color that you want, then it's Gallery, because that's the one to watch. Color saturation display feels like reading a real comic book. You said that. Cisco Sarah says extra. Yep, that's right. And Michael says 4K webcam. Yeah. And password's Apple123. No, I don't use any Apple. Yeah, fastest refresh mode is right here. Oh, it looks like I need to delete this off of a device because I have downloaded it too many times. And that's the thing, they do that. So while that is downloading, there we go. I am going to go home because we are going to go over to the browser and look at YouTube. No, it cannot play videos. Yes, it can, but it's not going to look very good. It looks terrible because that's not what Gallery's for. Gallery is not about speed. And before you guys say, well, then no one's going to adopt it, remember that the first company to adopt it is the multi-billion-dollar Sharp Corporation. So, yes, people are adopting this. Sharp was the first company to choose to make Gallery. They were the first one to have a prototype. They were the first one to release something that people on the event floor could actually see. Let's go like that, because I'll show you something that obviously we work on and something that has nothing to do with what do you call copyright and royalties and stuff like that. So I'm just going to go over to a video here. I believe it does have audio on, so I'm going to turn that off. So this is what video is going to look like. It's not going to look good, but you know, this what the live showcase is all about. You say jump, we jump, because we want to show you guys this in its full entirety. So it is going to be a very poor experience when it comes to video. And we got to get through the ads. So here's the video. Yeah, so we got, I'd say 8 frames a second. Yeah, that's as fast as it's going to be. Right now, currently, there are companies making strides in the software technology of Gallery, but no, it's not meant for video. It has it as a pleasantry to just maybe get by and say, hey, you know, there's a guy sitting next to a car, and the non-moving elements are fine. Then it cuts into something and it just looks terrible. So no, it's not meant for video. So if your concern is that, please do not buy this for video. Can you demo the fastest mode? We did that. I have a hard time writing Chinese versus English on Eink because I write small. Have you written Japanese kanji on Eink. Yeah, it's fine. So if you, oh, I mean that's subjective, right? Like how small are we talking here? Do you want to write? So if we go over to the note taking section and we go to templates and we choose some lines, I'm not sure if it's considered Cornell notes or anything like that, but we'll just go to here's a to-do list. Let's go to to-do list. We'll choose a pen. We'll go, for the camera, I'll go a little bit bigger. We'll go red. We'll go line width around there. Let's move this ball out of the way here. So, oops. There we go. So if I say, oh, hey there, I am Peter. And then I go, whoops. Oh, I'm losing my Japanese. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's subjective. A lot of people think, it's a small unit. It is. It's an 8-inch, but all the manufacturers are making 8 inches. Sharp is making 8 inches. Pocketbook, it made the Viva. It's already ready to go. And then Goody Reader and Bigme subsequently made the Galley. So, yeah, can you add handwritten notes on Kindle? No, absolutely not, because this is not the Scribe. That's a proprietary Scribe technology. How is it for comic reading? We're going to get into that in a second. Are there color branding artifacts on color gradients? That's a good question. What's a branding artifact? Maybe I don't know the terminology. Do you mean like, does it scale properly? Does it like go from different? Oh, here, this is one that we had some concern with when we actually showed this on an Onyx. So if I go over to the drop down, go over here, go to E-Ink Center. Oh, it is HD mode. Okay, you see everything's zeroed out. I'm going to tap out. This was the concern right here on the Onyx, is that when it went from dark, oh, here, let's do a refresh here. Let's do a full refresh. Refresh it. There we go. So when it went from dark to light, there were lines that were very noticeable. You can look at our comparison video on the Onyx, but here there's nothing. It's just a complete I don't even know what you say, like a transition between the dark and the light. You can see there's no lines. There's no staircase of lines separating each individual hue. It's just it's very magazine like. The only thing the gallery has right now is the color display, and it can't be contested. The only thing that can be above this is Spectra 6, which is pretty much exclusively utilized for menus and things that don't need access, that don't need to change very often, because it can take upwards of 18 seconds to change something. So this is as good as it's going to look on a user purchasable product right now. This is already shipping. We, meaning Bigme themselves and us ourselves from our locations, have shipped out hundreds of these already, and Pocketbook is releasing theirs, I believe, on the 6th of June. The Viva is almost ready to go, and if you go to our YouTube channel, we show the actual unit, and it is pretty much ready to go. Yeah. Yes, comic book. Sorry, getting back to that because I needed to get to the Amazonas, and look at a comic book. So Kindle, Overwatch. There we go. Overwatch is done. All right. So you guys want, I'll just show, well, I'm not going to ask you because it's not a very instant response. There is an instant response, kind of, but we'll go to HD. So everything zeroed out, dark enhancement. I don't know why it went to 10. Maybe that was a recommendation. The dark enhancement went to 10 on Amazon. Let's go to HD mode. Okay. And the whole thing died. Where am I on the page? Oh, there we go. Okay, so it was a prompt. It wants me to, I got to X out of this. All right. So this is a comic book. Now it looks like what you buy from the comic book store. Look at that. That's great. All right, let's turn some pages. Yeah, it's about 3 seconds in between each page. And in the HD mode, granted, that's HD full color mode. If you want to have a little bit of a compromise, I'm still getting used to the gestures. And Kindle crashed. All right, well, I'm going to do a force close because I'm not sure if this is a very good version of Kindle or not, but let's do a force stop and we will reassess it. What do we got here? Can you give a link for the case? Maybe one that the Bigme S6 will fit. No, this is not the same as the S6, so it will not fit. So, or do you need an S6 case is what you're saying? Or are you talking about the Galley case? Can you add handwritten? Oh, I already read that. Comic books. Oh, someone says, please go to black and white mode and zoom in. I will, if this Amazon application will work. I love how everything works up until the live. You know what I mean? Okay, there we go. So this is, reading tips, dismiss. We're going to go to the drop down. We're going to go to Eink Center. And I'm going to turn this not to black and white mode yet. I am going to go to extreme mode. You know what? I agree, CJ. I think, you know what Gallery needs is a crazy base hardware of it being very overclocked, very fast, very overbloated with RAM and processing. I don't think you should cut corners on the processing part and the stats of what your device is capable of, because Gallery is very intensive. It requires a lot of juice. It requires a lot of strain on the actual unit. So I kind of agree. I think, yeah, we should definitely prioritize that. See, it gets better. You get about 50% increase of page turns in extreme mode, and it still looks okay. It doesn't look as good as HD. Obviously, HD is just silly, but it looks better than Kaleido even in extreme mode. This looks very crisp, very clean, and that's kind of what's going on with comics. So you guys wanted to see, or I guess one user wanted to see black and white zoom in on an ebook. So I don't know if I can zoom in on an Amazon book, but let us see all the same. I guess I just download a sample of anything because it doesn't really matter. There we go. Opening sample of this Stephen King. Yes, I know it's Stephen. And what else do we have here? Can you load PDF with multiple color pages? Yeah, absolutely you can. Okay, so let's go to tap in the middle, and we will go to text augmentation and choose the maximum size of font. Okay, there we go. And we're going to eliminate the colors, go over to Eink Center, black and white mode. You can see things are still zeroed out. I'm going to put full refresh frequency a little bit lower, and I'm not going to zoom in, but I'll hold it up to the screen. This still looks better than Kaleido, and the reason is Kaleido is very gray in the background. This one is as gray, but it's not as dark of an overall experience. This one is very vivid, even in black and white mode. And here, let me get a piece of paper in the shot here. Just grab one from my printer here so you can see the difference. So that's true white, utilized for color balance, stuff like that. It is still dark, but Kaleido, with the light off in black and white mode, aka you're not currently showing any color on the screen, it is darker. And you can see that in our comparisons where we show this pitted up against other things. But again, look how slow this is, because I'm in black and white mode, which is arguably, not even arguably, objectively the fastest mode on this unit. You can't get faster than black and white mode, because you've bypassed HD, bypassed extreme, which still shows color, and you're in black and white, which eliminates all the color. But you know, that is something cool about Gallery, is that in Kaleido, you can't turn off the color. In Gallery, you can turn off the color. It's not a disillusion or a software trickery. It actually turns off all the color. And we'll show you right now when we go over to the note-taking section, because that's what we want to cap off with for the last couple minutes here, unless you guys say something else, because, yeah, that's what we want to show. So you see all these colors on the screen, right? You see the palette, and it looks really nice. That's very clearly, you know, black, yellow, orange, purple, etc. But if we go to the drop down and we go over here to the Eink Center and we go to black and white mode, something miraculous happens. The color goes away. Look at that. No device is able to do that on Kaleido, because you can't actually pardon me, you can't actually turn the colors off in Kaleido. The only device that was ever able to turn the colors off was about a 95% decrease on the Poke 2, which was a very limited run from Onyx, and it is now gone. That is the only ones you can turn off, but look, those are completely off now. Those are completely off. Black, gray, 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 white, gray, gray. So they're gone, which is amazing that you can do that. So that's another benefit that needs to be considered, is if you want a device where you actually can turn the color off, then there you go. We have a question here. Someone said, what about black and white A2 mode? There is no A2 mode. A2 mode is this, whatever the manufacturer decides to be the mode that allows for speed. Some manufacturers do this: normal and A2. Boyu does this. The iReader does it on some of their units. And then some devices do 4 speed modes, 1, 2, 3, like Hisense, Onyx, and to a lesser extent Bigme on some devices. But and actually here, Dasung and Onyx monitors, Mira, actually do upwards of 27 speed modes. So it depends on the manufacturer, but no, Bigme has deemed their modes as follows: HD, Extreme, and Black and White. So A2 could be that one. It's just the name. A2 could be this one. It's just the name. Onyx wouldn't call it HD, Extreme, and Black and White. They would call it Ultra Fast. Or maybe that would be Ultra Fast. And this would be normal, for example. It's just the names of what companies call it. It will refresh faster and turn to black and white. Yeah, we just showed that. What's good about that? Battery usage? What's good about what? Sorry. Does Gallery need more light? Yes, it does. Now, this will get into something right now. That's a very good question. We kept the glow light off this entire time just to kind of show you guys the inherent quality of it all. But my favorite, honestly, is a nice vivid picture like this. I should really set that to always open. Look at this. How you correct this and make it look the best is if we go to here. Now we're going to change some stuff. HD mode, a little bit of color brightness, slight vivid enhancement. X out of that. Go back to the top drop down. And we're going to turn the glow light on a little bit. I believe it's that one. Look, oh my God, look at that. That looks like the fluorescent lights from the office you're in reflecting off of the magazine you're reading. That is pure. That is pure quality. It really is. And we've shown that. If you guys go to our YouTube channel, I mean, this isn't really that new. We've just never done a live showcase because the device has never had a fast update other than right now. So basically, it can't get any better than this in a product that you can buy with money. We understand it's expensive. And why is it expensive? A lot of people are asking. If you think about it, how many tablets are in the world? Millions of individual models and hundreds of thousands of countable manufacturers across the globe making tablets. You can get tablets for $9 on DHgate. Gallery has one company that has made the panels, 2 companies that are selling them, 3 companies that have made anything that you can maybe even look at, and 1 company that's actually shipping. So yeah, it's expensive. Eink says, hey, do you want these panels? Oh, sure, I'll have 5 million panels. No, you say, I want 20 panels. They're like, oh, 20? Damn, we got to start up the machines for a run of 20? All right, $400 a panel. It's like, what the heck? I can make a tablet for $6. And then they're just like, make a tablet. That's the problem. It's supply and demand. Is there a demand for it? Not really. Is there supply for it? I mean, kind of maybe. No one's asking for it. So obviously, Eink's going to charge a premium to get the things out. And that's why no one's adopted 13.3-inch color yet, except for press kits and Fujitsu. Because Fujitsu has the pockets to do something like that and compete against nobody and be the only guy in the space. So yeah, it's going to be expensive. Of course, it's like anything. It's going to be damn expensive. Is it better with backlight? Yes. And black and white mode is better on the battery? Yes. And what is better in your opinion, Carta 1250 or Gallery 3 black and white? Carta 1250, of course. Gallery 3. Yeah, no. Carta, man. Yeah, I was just thinking for a second. No, it's not even close. If you put any sort of color versus black and white e-ink, it's not a competition. Black and white e-ink is better. Of course it's better. It's faster, it's more usable. Amazon uses it. Barnes & Noble uses it. Kobo Rakuten uses it. And to my quick math count, probably 80 manufacturers in the scope. 80 actual branded company name manufacturers use e-ink black and white. But no, Gallery 3 black and white or Kaleido 3 black and white does not look good. Of course it doesn't look good. It's compromises to get color on your screen to be really fast doesn't look good, like Kaleido. To get color on your screen that looks just like a magazine on a rack that I can choose and change at a moment's notice, this is the greatest thing ever, is slower than a snail riding on the back of a turtle. Of course, that wouldn't matter. It would just be all attributed to the turtle speed. It could be anything riding on the back of a turtle, but you know what I mean. It has to have compromises. It has to. A lot of people are saying this should be as fast as Kaleido. That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to have something encroach into another. Look what happened with the Amazon. The Paperwhite, the basic caught up to the Paperwhite. The basic latest gen is a Paperwhite. The only way they could differentiate it between their lineup is to make the Paperwhite bigger. They made it 6.8 because if it was just 6, there'd be no reason. You've crossed that line. If the Gallery crosses the line and says, oh, this is just as fast as Kaleido 3 and it looks a million times better, people would say, I don't understand. Why would I buy Kaleido 3? It's like, oh, you wouldn't. So it honestly, they have to coexist and they have to offer different things. And that's what it is all about. So if you guys have any other things here, have I missed anything? I need a case for my Galley, which is arriving soon. Perfect. Is it better with glow light? We said that. What about A2 mode? We covered that. What do we got here? Early 8-inch readers like my Lightbook Aries, that's 7.8, not 8, fit in a standard 8-inch pouch. Yeah, they might, but that has nothing to do with the screen. That's the body. You can have a 5-inch screen on a freaking gigantic dinner plate sized device. It has nothing to do with, the dimensions of the actual unit have nothing to do with the screen. A Remarkable's 10.3, but it's huge because it's got these flat, wide, chunky bezels. So yeah, you don't measure the case by the screen size. You measure the case by the body's tooling and the body's housing. How is it for comics? We showed that. Is the color branding artifacts on color gradients? We showed that. Is 4 gig enough for 4 gig enough for web surfing? Okay, well let's go to not settings. I don't really need to show anything in settings. Let's go to the App Center. Let's go back to browser, and I hope we're in extreme mode. That just it's a little bit more usable in extreme mode. Let's see. Okay, extreme mode. Dark enhancement 10. All right, let's go and say back. And now we'll go to a site. I don't know. Yeah, I'll just show you this, I guess. We'll just show you YouTube because it doesn't really matter that much. Web browsing is web browsing. So, yeah, the web browsing is quite slow. It is quite slow. Everything on this is slow. This is meant to be for something that is not changing state quite as much, but needs to. You understand? So it's kind of like something that doesn't change state a lot and doesn't need to would be Spectra. You look at a McDonald's menu and you're like, oh, cool. Should I have number 3 or the number 4? It's not changing. But something that needs to change state and look really good. Something that doesn't need to change state that looks really good but can change state is Gallery. Because Gallery is usable in certain conditions. No, it can't do video. No, you're not going to watch your Instagram stories on this. You can scroll through Instagram, absolutely, but it's not going to get there nearly as Kaleido. Dennis, we've been showing color photos the entire time, so I would recommend going back to that because there's a minute left and we don't have any more time to go back to that because we are all wrapped up. Guys, this is as good as Gallery can currently get. I might go as far to say that the Pocketbook could be quicker just because it doesn't have Android, and that is a very surface level assumption. Typically, Android requires more processors. There's more things happening in the background. The Pocketbook might be quicker, but typically Pocketbook doesn't employ a lot of hardware specs, high amounts of RAM, high amounts of storage, high amounts of processors. So it's going to be interesting to see because right now, us and Bigme were the only device that has Gallery. Sharp made one, but they don't really have a stable UI or operating system. And Pocketbook made one, but they have a placeholder operating system, which we showed during the prototype video we did. So it will be interesting to see what they do, and it's coming out in less than a month. And subsequently, Sharp has already opened pre-orders for that. We went and visited them at a couple trade shows already in Taiwan and Tokyo. So things are happening in the Gallery scope. It's not as much of a priority to these to the Eink world as other things, of course, but it is going right around the corner. Reminds me of experimental browser on my 7-year-old Kindle. Yep. Danky Frankie, not just the UI, but do apps run the same as my Samsung Tab? No. The Samsung Tab would be worlds better than this. This is very slow. It looks great. It's great for taking notes. You get that realism of live appearance. So like, if I put a super 4K image on a Kaleido 3 screen, it's not going to look like the image. If I draw this crazy thing I've drawn on my Kaleido 3 screen, on my Onyx, on my Bigme, on my whatever, it's not going to look like that. It's not a live representation of the media I'm putting on there. This is, aside from video, if you put a photo on here, it looks like that photo. If you put a PDF on here, it looks like that PDF. It's a more live representation of what's happening while you're doing it, albeit slower. That's what's going on, everyone. Thank you, Frankie, Dan Turley. We got here Dennis Karasev. We got Jihad Al-Swede. Thank you for being so vocal today. We got Bill T. We have my mom. We have Michael Musato. We have CJ, Kato, Bruce Lee, 08. Harshwardhan Bahirat, George Viero, Darren Chong, Cisco Teres, thank you for always stopping by. Romulan Rising, we have Jas Chiang, Michael stopped by today as well. Dimas Hendra, always nice to see you. Got a light in my face, and that is it. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Simon, man. Simon was one of the earlier adopters of the Galley, actually. His name is Come Up Around the Water Cooler, aka the Keurig machine we have in the office here. So yeah, we'll do some outdoor tests. We will do some it's ended, Simon. Bye. We'll do some outdoor tests. We'll do some Kaleido test outdoors. We haven't done any outdoors on that yet. We will be doing that. We've got a lot of stuff coming up on the channel. Philips just sent us a big chunky monitor, man. We got Sony sent us a new MP3 player. Yes, it's colloquial known as MP3 player. We know it's a DAP, but no one calls it that. And we have, oh man, I'm looking around. There's just so much stuff. A lot of work to do, guys. Last question. Can you give a link for a Galley case? We have the Galley case. It's on, we have a case. Yeah, it's totally there. We'll put it in the description down below when we wrap this up. But thank you guys so much. This was the live showcase. Every single week we're going to be here, and see you on the next one.